Hey everyone! Welcome back to our YouTube channel where we bring you the latest update on K-pop news. There are moments in life when silence speaks louder than words. When a glance holds more emotion than a sentence ever could. Speech balloon. Before we dive deep into this emotional revelation between Jiang and Chaun Wu, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because stories like these deserve to be heard, and we'll keep bringing them to you. For years, fans have adored their on-screen chemistry. In true beauty, they became the beating heart of the story. Lin Ju-kyung and Lee Soo-ho, two characters entangled in youth, secrets, and the delicate pain of growing up. But beyond the script, beyond the camera, behind the perfectly rehearsed scenes, something real began to flicker. Jiang has always been known for her professionalism, calm, composed, articulate. But in a recent interview, something shifted. Her voice, usually steady, trembled, if only for a moment. And in that moment, everything changed. The beginning, chemistry on and off screen. When True Beauty first aired, no one could have predicted the impact. The webtoon adaptation drew millions. But it was Jiang and Chaun Wu's dynamic that turned it into a phenomenon. They were electric. Every glance, every pause, every awkward smile in the hallways of Saebom High felt real. Cut, the director yells, but they're still looking at each other, laughing softly. That laughter wasn't scripted. As fans, we saw the beginning of something, maybe friendship, maybe more. But what we didn't see were the real conversations happening when the camera stopped rolling. Chaun Wu breaks his silence. It's rare for Chaun Wu to speak about his emotions. Known for his visuals, he's often labeled cold, mysterious, even robotic by tabloids who don't know him. But in his latest sit-down interview, he surprised everyone. People think I'm just composed all the time. But during filming, there was one scene where I completely broke down. Not because the script told me to, but because of what she said off camera, just before the take. Asterisk. Who is she? We already know. Jiang. Jiang has this way of making you feel seen. She doesn't just act her scenes, she lives them. One day she said something to me, just a small thing. You don't have to pretend here. I'll never forget it. Asterisk. You don't have to pretend here. What sounds like a simple sentence, carried years of weight for Wu. For someone who grew up under the spotlight, trained, polished, expected to be perfect, Jiang's quiet affirmation was like air after drowning. Jiang opens up. When asked about Chaun Wu, Jiang's eyes soften. There's a pause. A smile. And then, a sigh, the kind that carries unsaid stories. He doesn't let people in easily. But he listens more than people realize. During filming, I saw a side of him that the world doesn't see. Asterisk. Then, the unexpected. She leans forward. Her voice, vulnerable, almost breaking. There was one day. I was going through something personal. And he just sat with me. Didn't ask. Didn't push. Just stayed. Asterisk. No words. No grand gestures. Just presence. In a world filled with noise, that quiet companionship, that steady, unwavering presence, meant everything. A moment that changed everything. A turning point for their characters. But behind the scenes, something more was happening. During rehearsal, something shifted. The crew noticed it. Even the director paused. They were supposed to act. Instead, they felt. It was the only time we didn't yell cut. They stayed in character, but it didn't feel like acting anymore. Asterisk. And then, off camera, hidden from the final edit, Jiang broke into tears. Not scripted. Not planned. Chaun Wu didn't speak. He just stepped forward and hugged her. A real hug. Not a character's gesture. His. And for the first time, she didn't hold back. The truth behind their bond. What is it about their connection that feels so honest? People ship us, and I get it. But I think the reason we work is because she sees me, not the idol, not the actor. Just me. Asterisk. We leaned on each other. And when you go through that, you carry part of that person with you, even after the cameras stop. Asterisk. They've never confirmed a relationship. But maybe, they don't need to. Fans react, this is real. The internet noticed. The clip of Chaun Wu hugging Jiang shared over 3 million times. Fan theories exploded. Edits surfaced with captions like, "That's not Suho. That's Chaun Wu. Look at the way he holds her, that's love. This isn't acting anymore." But for every wild rumor, there was a quieter, more powerful truth that fans felt: authenticity. It wasn't about whether they were dating. It was about the fact that in a world of filters, PR statements, and curated perfection, these two gave us something real. What now? They've moved on to new roles. New scripts. New characters. But that bond, that emotional safe space they built during True Beauty, it remains. In interviews. In glances. In the way they speak about each other, always with respect. Always with care. Not lovers. Not strangers. Something else. Something deeper. Maybe we don't have the word for it yet. Chaun Wu, once reserved, distant, carefully polished, now speaks with softness, with depth. There's a calmness in him that wasn't always there. And Moon Jiang, always graceful, but once guarded, now opens up with a quiet strength. Her eyes speak volumes even when her mouth is silent. They didn't just act together. They grew up together. They healed together. And maybe, they helped each other find pieces of themselves they didn't know were missing. We live in a world obsessed with endings. Are they dating? Did they move on? What's next? But some stories don't have a final chapter. Moon Jiang opened her heart. Chaun Wu spoke his truth. And together, they reminded us what connection really means. Not the loud, dramatic kind we're used to seeing in dramas. But the quiet, grounding kind that changes you, quietly, completely, forever. Maybe they'll reunite on screen one day. Maybe they won't. But one thing is certain. They gave us a moment. And in that moment, we saw something real. If this story moved you, if you believe in connections that go beyond words and relationships that defy labels, make sure to subs.